we delivered some great news this week. You can see our project site right here. That you are looking at 6.2 million ounces in an exceptional jurisdiction with roads, power, cell phone service in that image, and more resource growth there. We're right beside two mines. So Banyan's got a really exciting story and a really strong treasury this year. This little image, the Yukon with the discoveries that we had from Snowline to the east to Victoria Gold actually putting their mine into production and their Raven discovery to Sitka at the west end. This is Canada's newest gold district, and you're going to see lots of discoveries and resource growth here. I think Victoria Gold and Banyan here will be neck and neck as we grow our resources. Our Ormac property, 173 square kilometers, still explored only 5% of it, and we already have 6 million ounces, 6.2. As we zoom in, you'll see the resource in 3 deposits, the airstrip, power line, and Oryx Hill. We made the power line discovery in 2019. So this isn't a project that's been around and drilled and killed. This is a brand new discovery that we've advanced very, very quickly. In 2020, in our first resource, power line was 100,000 ounces. Now it's almost 4 million ounces, and it's still open. Oryx Hill has a similar story. In 2022, it was a multi-100,000 ounce resource, and now it's 1.4 million ounces, and we're drilling on it today. We know it has lots of expansion potential. This is an on-surface, low strip ratio deposit. You can see the pit shell there in gray. Mineralization extends well below it. We know this mineralization goes to depth, but we aren't going to chase that because if this is a heap leach project, it's probably an economic pit. It's probably 200 meters in depth. But for the expansion potential, it means there's a lot more gold likely there. It's a sheeted vein deposit, very similar to Victoria Gold and Snowline. Key difference, we haven't found our intrusion that created this deposit yet, but we're going to be looking hard for it. Meanwhile, we're continuing to add ounces every day with our ongoing drill program. We've drilled over 15,000 meters this year. We've got a strong treasury that'll allow us to drill 25,000 meters. This deposit is 5 kilometers across and almost 2 kilometers north-south. That's very large. I think we're in the monster category and continuing to grow. And as we move on, and that resource went from 4 million ounces to 6.2 million ounces in one single season of drilling 50,000 meters. So we've moved this forward very quickly. It just shows you the potential here. And we've got a 2-kilometer step out that we drilled at Oryx Hill where we continue to see mineralization. So it just shows you there's tremendous potential to continue to grow. So there aren't very many deposits in the world that are undeveloped, have over 6 million ounces and more potential. I believe it has or will be a Tier 1 status project as we continue to move it forward. We've got a really stable and knowledgeable leadership team with a track record of value creation. We're adding ounces for less than $7 per ounce. This project has huge advantage of infrastructure. Roads, power. We need 50 meters of power to get across the highway, and then we'd put in our own power infrastructure to get to this deposit. That's exceptional. Even having cell phone service and fiber optic cables going to be laid down the highway right across our deposit. You can permit in this jurisdiction. Victoria Gold and Hecla just did. It's stable. We have 1 First Nation. Gosh, that's tough. Sorry, guys. Clearly talking too much. And it's year-round. We've set this up that we start drilling in February and we go through to December. So it really is set up for someone to move it forward. And Victoria Gold mines year-round. I already talked about the Gold Belt. Great team. I won't belabor that. But Jason Neal joined us as an advisor, and Brad Thrall, a very experienced mining engineer and metallurgist, has joined our team to help us move this forward, along with Mark Blythe, who's also an engineer, works on mining projects all across Canada. As we start to move from being a pure exploration project to a development project, their skills will be invaluable. We're really fortunate to have a fabulous share registry. very high percentage of institutional ownership, with the largest being Franklin at 9.8 and Fidelity at 7.4. We also have corporates, Victoria Gold at 11, our neighbor, and the Cisco Development at 4. And I'm a 4% shareholder, which I've had to buy in the market because I'm the third CEO, didn't get any founder's stock, and you'll see that I've put almost $1.5 million in the last 2 years. We're starting to get some analyst attention. We've got Cormark with a price target of $1.25, and most recently, Don Blythe from Paradigm put out a very technical piece of research with a price target of 85 cents. Gwen writes us up, and Brian Lundeen also does as well. We started this year with $19 million in the bank. We still have over $14.5 million in the bank, so a strong treasury in this market puts you in a great position. There's just the outline of our resource. The orange is the pit. The blue is the mineralized extension of the project. We've drilled in between Oryx Hill and Powerline, and you'll also see with the red drill holes that are way off to the east that we've also encountered mineralization out there, so we know that this project does expand. If you looked at these sensitivity charts in our news release, and I encourage you to do that, we picked a 0.25 and 0.3 cutoff grades because it made this look alike to Victoria Gold, 0.61 grams on average. And you can see here at Powerline alone, when you pick a project, you can pick different cutoff grades. If we'd picked a 0.5 at Powerline alone, we would have had 2.5 million ounces at 0.94. And if you averaged all three of the deposits, we would have had over 4 million ounces at 0.95 at a 0.5 cutoff. So, as we move forward here, you look at this project from a mining perspective, you don't need 6 million ounces to start. You need to know where your 200,000 ounces per year at high grade are, where's your high grade starter pit. So that's part of what we're doing now. Our current drilling is focused on exploration growth because we know it's there. But in the background, we are doing the engineering and technical work to really evaluate this resource, know where we'd put infrastructure, and work on how we would actually present this as a mining project. And there's various options on that. We've done a lot of work actually this last winter on our structural and geochemical analysis. I won't belabor that, but come over to talk to me about it. One of the key things that we're doing, which will help us determine what our process flow chart is our metallurgical work. We brought on Brad Thrall, who's taken us from doing a junior's exploration metallurgy program to actually putting together a PEA level of metallurgy. Looking at both the options of heap leach, like Victoria Gold, our neighbor down the road, but also looking at what the economics and what the process would be if this is a mill and a CIL. And why would you do that? Well, it's because of recovery. If you looked at Victoria Gold's recovery, they get 74% recovery, and a mill you might get 90 to 95. So a deposit of this scale, that additional recovery in the long term makes a really big difference. And while there's a difference in capital costs in those two scenarios, we've heard from many of the mining companies that we've talked to that that's what they're most interested in. We have another project off to the west, which is a lookalike. It's a greenfields exploration project, but lots of excitement there. All of the companies that are operating have to be doing the ESG side. I won't belabor that, but we're in a great position with the work that we do in the community. So this has been a pretty short timeline. I became the CEO in 2016. We acquired this project in 2017. 900,000 ounces by 2020, 4 million by 2022, and now we're sitting at 6.2 million ounces. So it's been a real short journey. You'll see the work that we're doing to de-risk this project and advance it through this year. Again, our focus is really delivering value for shareholders, focusing on the most important work, along with a drill program to continue to show exploration. We do have an on-site prep lab, which we delayed starting up so that we could actually get them at full production, but we will start to get results out from our program very, very quickly. So that's the summary. There's not very many projects that look like ours with the number of ounces in the quality jurisdiction. We got 2 operating mines right beside us. And yep, the market's pretty terrible. We got a pretty compelling valuation. We're valued less than $10 per ounce right now. Our peers are trading around 33. So I think it's going to be an exciting year for us. We've got a strong treasury to weather the storm, but we will start to get some recognition because of the exceptional project that we have. Thank you very much for tolerating my bad voice, and come talk to us at the booth.